Well, hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. How the heck are you? I am Diana Clarion, the Lavender Lady. This is Coffee with Lavender. And we have with us, first of all, the one, the only, the brilliant, the beautiful Kate Farr Bionic Dance, and your nose is just fine.
Okay. I said nothing about my nose.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You posted to Twitter.
Okay, yes, but it wasn't my nose is ugly. It was when I put on one of those masks it starts to hurt because my
Yeah.
nose sticks out too far.
Yeah, okay. You even
So,
explained
I
it right
mean,
there. And
I honestly would not be bitching about my nose shape.
okay, then I certainly wouldn't. Your nose, cute nose,
Yes,
really
but
cute
you're
nose.
weird like that.
I know.
I have a little pug nose, so
Wolf, and
yeah.
with us right here we have our chief engineer and navigator, Mom NATO. How the heck are you? Yay!
My lunch is about to be done, so that's good.
And then in the back, we have the bombardier here on this flight. Tornado, how the heck are you?
Hey guys, I'm sitting here doing Space Engineers, watching Geostorm online because, well, if it's a pandemic, then I'm gonna get all the streaming I can in.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
But
Well, I'm
my.
thinking if you're playing a video game, maybe I'll fire up that Mad Max game I'm enjoying so much, because at least that's an interesting apocalypse, unlike this one where we're all just sitting at home waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. I tell you, this is driving me nuts. It really is because, okay, at least here, we've had the social distancing rules, et cetera, in place for only about a month. And already I just want to crawl into a corner and cry myself to sleep. Well, not that I don't do that every day, but I don't know, man. It's really, I don't know about the rest of you, and I don't know about you out there. I know, Kate, that you have made a couple of posts that I have seen, and I get it. I really do. It gets lonely. It really does.
Yeah.
It does.
Like right now, I need a hug from someone who's not a cat.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough that Tornado and I are in the same house, so I can get a hug if I want.
Is that good luck or bad?
You beat me to it.
Well,
because
it's the obvious rejoinder.
Well, you gotta understand it. You know, there's the times when I'm trying to sleep at night and Tornado decides to pace around the house and he doesn't realize he's making noise or talking to himself or humming to himself, and it's like, Tornado, I'm trying to sleep. Shut up!
That reminded me of Sister Mary Elephant. Now, do either of you know who Sister Mary Elephant is?
No.
Not even a tiny, tiny bit.
There was the comedy team of Cheech and Chong.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and there was the thing that they did on their album called Big Bamboo. The character was Sister Mary Elephant. She was a nun in a Catholic school and the whole thing. And you have the whole thing about the class doing their thing. You can hear the talking and not paying attention to her. And class. Shut up! Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. There have been days.
You had to be really high to appreciate that shit. What?
Yeah. Well, many a person on movie night has heard me yell, "Shut up! I'm trying to sleep."
Yeah.
Yes, because he would be getting irate about something on movie night.
So what else is new?
He would just start yelling at the top of his lungs, and it's 3:00 in the morning.
For a good long time, I thought the anger was feigned, like as in it was being done primarily for show.
Mm-hmm.
And now I realize it's not.
No, no, it's not.
Oh, you saw that my anger was not feigned, have you?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, big boom and a short
But
fuse.
honestly, I'm not sure which one is worse.
exactly.
Oh my. Yeah, and
Love
No,
my
I really
child.
only get that angry if the flat earther starts
Are you
gaslighting.
Hey, are you using my headset?
Yes.
Noise volume down.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like really unnecessary.
A lot of
Yeah.
times, yes.
yeah, I mean the occasional thing, there's for what do you want to? A little bit of theatrics never hurt anybody, but constant
All
no.
the time you lose something in translation by always being angry.
Yeah, because
It's true.
well, that too, and I mean the effect is just gone. In a case like that, you get the effect by being really quiet.
Yeah.
Because we're hunting
and
rabbits.
also, I'm trying to remember exactly which story it was from, but I was reading a story where someone, when he was like, basically dressing down an officer who had disobeyed or done something stupid, like if he got really angry, he would just get very quiet. And like you knew that if he was yelling, you were okay, but if he got super quiet, man, were you in trouble.
Yeah.
I've known people like that.
Me.
I actually experienced something like that when I encountered a YouTube commenter claiming that the coronavirus was 5G and that it was all fake.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't
you know
even
what?
get that. Like, I've been
Ah,
hearing that
jeez.
for a while, and I'm like, how even this is like stupider than windmills causing cancer.
Well, I guess none of it has to
by
make
the
any
mom.
sense,
Beep,
really.
beep, beep, beep.
Okay, thank you, Tornado.
I
I'll be
mean,
right back. My food needs to come out of the oven.
as long as it's something outside their normal experience, which with a lot of these people, wind power is novel.
Well, sure, but it's wind. Wouldn't wind have caused cancer long ago?
Oh well, that
Like
too.
without windmills?
But I mean the whole 5G thing. They don't know it. They don't understand it. Of course, it's evil.
Yeah, there is that.
Um,
It's funny to me how many people were like, "Oh, if you sit too close to the television, it'll make you go blind. If you use the computer, it will
God.
cause this, that, or the other thing." And it's just like so many weird ass rumors about
Yeah.
what technology will do to you that never even came close to true.
Well, I remember that whole television thing when I was a girl. I'm in single digits, and they're saying, sit too close, and your eyes are gonna burn out. You're gonna go blind. And I
Or
don't.
sit too
I
close
don't-
and you're going to lose brain cells.
Is that what happened?
That was usually not so much about the television itself as it was that they thought the entertainment was too, like, I don't know, lowbrow, I guess. Where they're
Yeah.
like, wow, you can't watch this crap. It'll make you stupider because it's crap, rather than the TV itself will rot your brain.
I still see that
I
from
heard
time to
the one time
time.
that the TV itself would rot your brain.
I still see that from time to time with people who consider television productions to be of inherently lower quality than, say, stage or screen.
Or even just books. I mean, the number of
Oh, well, that
times
too,
I
yeah.
heard someone say, turn off the TV and go read a book. And it's like, like there is a lot of audiovisual entertainment out there that is just as good, if not better, than a book. It's like a lot of people seem to think, okay, the more archaic the input style, the better it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I was in a discussion years ago with somebody who asked, what I thought of electronic instruments, and say, what the heck? There are things you can do with electronic instruments that are very good, that are very nice, that sound really good, that you simply cannot do with acoustic instruments. What's the problem? Whether you plug it in or not, and they were, whoa,
Speaking of acoustic
really?
instruments,
Sonny! And they were like, wow, that's what you really, yes, of course that's what I really think. As if, that idea was somehow revolutionary.
Well, if you want to hear me go off on a tornado-style rant, get me started on the books they made you read in school. Because, anything that was considered a quote-unquote classic was inevitably set during, Victorian times or frontier America. It's
Oh,
like the
God,
whole
yes.
Little Women and Tom Sawyer and all that shit.
Did they
And
make...
they made sure that anything you read was stripped of entertainment value.
Did they make you read Johnny Tremaine?
Anything they make you read is a chore to read it. That was the thing is, I could point to some movies out there where watching them is an endurance trial. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with the books they make you read in school. They just made you read utter shite.
Yeah. Did they make you read Johnny Tremaine?
I don't remember, because I remember watching Johnny Tremaine as a Masterpiece Theater episode or something.
Okay.
But I do not, for the life of me, remember actually reading the book.
Yeah, we had to read that. We had to read Call of the Wild. What the hell else did we have to do?
Lord of the Flies?
No, they didn't require that of us for some reason.
Actually, I remember reading Lord of the Flies. But
yeah, I read it on my own. Yeah.
Well, I didn't read it on my own. I remember reading it as part of a school assignment.
We had to read To Kill a Mockingbird during a school assignment. That
wow.
About a book.
Oh my word! Is that worse than Catcher in the Rye, or I'm not sure?
I don't know.
And if I ever asked for sci-fi, it would be inevitably anything that wasn't an adventure.
Okay.
I just remember reading To Kill a Mockingbird, and most of it I don't remember anymore. But if I remember correctly, it had a lot to do about slavery.
And nothing to do with
capturing. Yeah, and having an escaped slave that they have to go out and capture with Scout's dogs. And Scout had met the slave. And was like,
Yeah,
it was the first experience of realizing that he was a real person or something.
Yeah, something.
Well, actually, no, that's not what To Kill a Mockingbird was about. It was actually about a black man who was accused of raping a white woman.
Right, but he was also a slave, if I remember correctly.
No, I don't think so. I think it was set during the 1930s, 1940s.
Okay. Well, whatever it was boring as fuck.
Wait a minute,
that
no.
Seemed to be the MO that they had for pretty much any reading assignment. Was,
suck all the joy out of reading.
This cannot in any way be fun. So it's educational, and that was what always kind of bothered me, similarly to the things that people would deride as too lowbrow or something, or this will rot your brain, or blah 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 blah. It's so frustrating. It was kind of like when I went to film school, and I actually said to one of my teachers, I want to learn to make sci-fi movies. That's my goal for getting into film. And they were like, yeah, that's not what we teach here. I was like, gee, thank you so much for making me waste my education on the shit you want me to make.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, To Kill a Mockingbird was published later than I thought it was published. Published in 1960. During my lifetime. It's amazing. And I guess the story does take place during the Depression.
Okay.
So why did it take place in Washington State, though? I mean, Tukwila Mockingbird? I don't get it.
Yeah, just in what comes up on the Google thing, we have set in the small southern town of Macomb, Alabama during the Depression. It follows...
So basically set during slavery.
Yeah.
I mean,
pretty much.
Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Follows 3 years in the life of 8-year-old Scout Finch, her brother Jem, and their father Atticus. Punctuated by the arrest and eventual trial of a young black man.
Scout?
Say again?
I said, if it takes place over 3 years, wouldn't that be the 11-year-old Scout?
Pretty much. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, a young black man accused of raping a white woman. Yep.
Okay. Good job, Tornado.
You would almost
I
think...
remember it, and I also remember Romeo and Juliet. It's like they decided.
That was another one we had to read.
I don't remember being forced to read Shakespeare.
Well, actually, it wasn't just us. It wasn't just reading Shakespeare. It was actually acting out the play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the thing I was tasked with doing was I was tasked with being Mercutio.
Oh, Lord. Nice part to play, yeah.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, the more I read it, the more my accent actually started to slip into something else. I think it was either sort of a Mexican accent or getting more towards Irish. But I was actually doing sort of a Victorian thing.
That is because
No.
you're broken.
Yeah.
Man, I forget, is it like Spain or Italy where the shit takes
Italy.
place?
Yeah, it's oh God, is it Venice or is
I
it
think so.
or is it
Rome.
or is it Florence?
I
Actually,
don't.
I think it takes place on the west side.
Yeah.
I'm just
I
saying.
think it's
You
Venice, but I could be wrong.
Oh, let's find out. Let's see what we have going over here.
It's been a while.
Yeah, been a while since I
It's
read
been
it.
30-something years.
What makes me laugh, though, is that when it was contemporary, when it was new, Shakespeare was considered super lowbrow.
Yes.
Mhm.
I think that's hilarious because today everyone's all like pinky in the air while they sip wine about it.
Yeah.
So
Okay, hang
Yeah,
on.
my
Romeo and Juliet.
I had my friends actually called one of my teachers when I was actually reading
There we
the
go.
part of Mercutio out loud and getting really into my act was one of the teachers actually called me a thespian.
and you're like,
And you're
yeah,
like, wait a minute.
like-
Yeah, there we go. Oh.
Actually, I'm only assuming on that one
What?
that he likes girls.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm straight.
I was
How do we
wrong.
know in this day and age, you know?
I
I
was-
don't want to make
What?
rash assumptions.
There you go. I was wrong. I was wrong on both counts. It's set in
Oh.
It's set in Verona, northeastern.
Verona. Okay. Isn't Verona Spain?
It says here Verona is a city in northeastern Italy.
Okay.
My Verona.
My Bologna. Yeah, there you go.
Hold on.
My Corona.
Mm.
Does that
No,
mean?
not your Corona.
No, I'm gonna say this.
Weird
Does that
Al
mean
actually
that-
made Weird Al actually put out a statement saying he will not do a parody called My Corona.
Thank you, Al. I knew we had some class about him.
Well, actually, that does lead to a sort of a question. Does that mean if that was an out? Does that mean if that Romeo and Juliet actually had a disease in it, would it be called Veronavirus?
No.
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 All right. By the map I'm looking at, Verona is a little more than halfway closer to Venice than it is to Milan.
Okay.
It's halfway would be Simone, but Verona would be a little closer to Venice than it is to Milan. Okay, there we go. Yay!
So, while you're looking maps up,
Yes, dear.
where's Bohemia? Or where was
Bohemia, that was, I shouldn't say present day Czechoslovakia because Czechoslovakia doesn't exist anymore anyway.
Right.
It's the Czech Republic.
We're, let's see, the
Well, that's something
westernmost,
the United
and
States needs to do. The United States needs to check the Republic.
there you go. the westernmost and largest historical region of the Czechlands in the present-day Czech Republic.
Oh, okay.
So
So does that mean?
it's the western half of the Czech Republic, basically.
Okay. So I have some Czech in me.
Oh, yay.
And Italian. That's
Also,
interesting.
yeah, when you're talking about the Czech Republic, also known as which country are we in this week?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So interesting. But my grandma Kozart still called it Bohemia.
Oh, yeah,
Never called
yeah.
it Czechoslovakia.
Oh, right. Yeah, Czechoslovakia did not exist until the close of World War One.
So
Well-
I guess my question is, did she ever tell her mother that she'd killed a man?
Put a gun
Did
against
she
his
put a
head.
gun against his head, pull the trigger, now he's dead?
Nope.
I'll just be over here.
Oh, for the love of Saint Gulick. Yeah. But thanks, kids. This is exactly what I need, really. Yeah, the whole thing, which I had put on the thumbnail of this thing, is, were we on the air yet when I had said to you, Kate, that I remember you posting things about loneliness and I feel, soul-crushingly isolated by this whole response to the pandemic thing.
I miss game night so much.
Uh-huh.
I miss my mom being able to go out and do stuff.
Yeah,
And you know
'cause-
what? My parents are trapped in Mexico.
Oh,
no.
no.
I mean, like my dad keeps showing me his ticket to come visit me, and I'm like, Dad, that is so optimistic. You are not, and I actually told him, I'm like, okay, number one, don't much care for losing my dad, but number two, don't really want to hang out with someone who's been in a goddamn airplane. You are not coming to visit me, and I'd really like it if you stayed where you are until this whole pandemic shit is done.
Now, here's a little something interesting. Not saying it's going to happen to anyone we know, but what happens if you're trapped out of country and your visa expires before you're let back in due to corona concerns?
Well, I can tell you this much: it's not going to happen to my parents. They have dual citizenship now.
Oh, okay.
They spend so much time in Mexico and they own property there now that basically they applied for dual citizenship and they have it. So they're not getting punted out of the country at all.
Oh, okay.
Now, I told my dad, I was like, if you really want to come visit me that bad, here's what you're going to have to do. Rent a car and come up alone. Because there's no way, like, if you've been in a metal tube for several hours with people who might not know they're infected, forget about it. But if you're alone in a car for like however many thousands of miles you'd have to drive to get home, then I will at least be willing to trust your infection status.
Well, wait a minute. When you talk about him being in Mexico and then you talk about thousands of miles in the same breath, what, is he up against Costa Rica?
Apparently.
No, there's more to it than that. Because number one, he's in Oaxaca. And I don't really know how far Oaxaca is from San Diego, but I know he flies to Tijuana and then crosses the border into the United States on foot. And then it's like a very short, like Lyft or Uber ride to get to my place, right? But he's also going from there back to Vermont to take care of some like business that needs taking care of in Vermont, because again, my parents own property there as well, and it needs managing that like can't be done by remote. So he kind of has to go back to Vermont, which again, about 3,000 plus miles from where I am. So that's why the thousands of miles of driving.
Okay, that explains. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Apparently, Ron DeSantis is opening Florida beaches just 3 days after the death toll spiked.
No idea who that is, but it still sounds
That's
terrible.
the
Governor of Florida.
Okay.
He's an idiot.
Is he
Well-
fucking nuts?
Shh. Oh, down,
Language.
down, down.
Volume.
And I know that a lot of people are defying orders from governors who say, don't go to the beach, don't go to the beach. And they're doing it anyway.
They're idiots.
Well, yeah. And,
Because
you
they're just
know,
gonna
I
start
would
a
love
second
it if
wave of
their
the virus.
idiocy did not get other people killed.
Wait a
I'd be
fucking
happy to have them all commit suicide by virus if it didn't affect other people.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. I'm trying to think here. Well, even S.J. Thomason commented about how these people were morons. So you know they've got to be stupid if they, if that's happening.
Yeah. Well, then
Oh
again, she
my!
probably calls people who are perfectly intelligent stupid because they don't agree with her. But
Of
whatever.
course she does. Yes, but that's beside the point. I'm surprised she hasn't blocked me yet because I've had a couple differences with her over the last couple of days. But that's
You know, it's weird how easily she and I got along.
it
we
is. It
disagreed,
is.
But we managed to keep it civil as long as G-Man wasn't a factor.
Yeah, I mean, I had told you that I was surprised, and I meant it. I mean, I still am. That it went as well as it did with you and her.
Hold on, phone.
I mean, like I hear people give her a lot of shit, and when she asked me to be on her show, I expected it to turn into full contact
Yep.
debate.
So did I.
But it ended up just being a conversation,
Yeah.
and I realized I had to adjust my perception of her. I'm not going to say opinion, perception.
Yeah, that was amazing. So, I mean, that was one good thing, as far as that goes. But
Yeah.
no, this whole thing.
Cool.
I'm waiting. Well, somebody else has already mentioned this on Twitter. I'm waiting for the case spike in about 2 weeks with these people in where the hell is it? Michigan and Ohio and what's the other state where they're marching around the governor's offices or whatever. Open it up, open it up. Well, it wouldn't be Ohio because Ohio is a Republican governor, I think. But there are three states, and I'll get to Trump in a minute here. Yeah, where you had all these people protesting and rebelling and everything. Let's see when the cases spike now.
Well, but the problem, of course, is that a lot of these people who are quote unquote protesting are actually blocking ambulances.
Yes, isn't that wonderful?
Where it's like I mean, they're going, I don't care if I get sick because I think it's a big honkin' hoax and this, that, and the other thing, but they're making it so that other people can't get the treatment too.
Right.
And that's where some folks are literally calling them terrorists.
Oh,
They're
yes.
Protesters don't walk around with AK-47s dumping over ambulances and blocking medical care. That's what terrorists do.
Yes.
And I'm like, you kind of have a point there.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing I've noticed, well, I would hope that just about everybody has noticed this already. The people who are screaming, my rights, my rights, my rights.
Oh, yes.
They are practicing the whole selfish thing, too, is they're not seeing beyond the tips of their own snotty noses here. I mean, other people have rights to not be infected, for example.
Oh, see, that's not where I thought you were going with this. I thought you were going to talk about the protesters who are holding up signs saying, my body, my choice.
Oh, that
And
one! Oh,
also
God, that's
the ones
beautiful!
who are against abortion.
Yes,
And it's like,
yes!
you think you're using our argument against you, but at the same time, you're affecting a lot more people than an abortion ever could.
Well, the other thing is, I don't know, do they actually see the difference?
No.
Because they say that they are thinking that the embryo or the fetus that has absolutely no concept of consciousness or anything is an independent person, which it isn't. But, oh well.
I love the people who are saying, okay, if a fetus is a person, then I need that $500 stimulus check per child, or, shut up forever because
Yeah.
you're just blowing smoke.
Absolutely. And these are all the, what do you want to call it, contradictions that they're just
Mhm.
not seeing or are refusing to see.
Well, and it's funny, if we manage to cram through a continuous UBI, perpetual UBI, instead of just this one-time payment, it's going to be crazy because I will be rolling in dough from it.
Mm-hmm.
Because my expenses are so low and I'm living on about, well, $1,200 a month at this point. So if I get another $1,200, man, I won't even know what to spend it all on.
I
You
know,
know,
I
and,
know.
and I've often said that I don't consider money an end unto itself. Money is a means, which is why I'll never be a billionaire because I'm not pursuing cash.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, literally, and I've also mentioned before, but maybe not here, that either I can afford all the little shit I want and none of the big shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like I could not go out and buy that DeLorean I so desperately want. I could not start my own space program. I could not start a movie. So my cash would just be sitting there because I couldn't think of any like less expensive toys to buy.
There
It's
you
kind of
go.
weird.
Yeah. And well, this is interesting that you mention these things. That the position I'm in, for example, I have to spend this money. I can't hold on to it for a rainy day because it'll be held against me if I do.
Really?
You're always means tested for things like Section 8 or for other receipts, that sort of thing.
Well,
You can't have too much, so I don't know how close to the
well,
ceiling that 1,200 would put me.
okay. Well, here's a question for you.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, well, actually, a bunch of questions. So please, just yes, no answers if you can.
We'll
Number
try.
one, when they look at whether or not you qualify for all this housing, I mean, did it? Well, okay, this is going to not be yes, no. This is going to be either or, but still, do they look at just your income, or do they look at savings as well?
The latter. They also look at your savings
Okay.
and that sort of thing. Yes.
Because here in San Diego, and also in Washington State for that matter, they have never asked me, what is your bank balance? They've only said, how much do you take in per month?
Okay. Okay.
And so that's a thing. But number two, what's to stop you from taking your like your stimulus check, your UBI check, and getting cash so that you can't be checked up upon?
Well, okay, yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk too much in case the man is listening, but
Well, yeah. But
that's one of the things I've considered. Yeah,
and
taking it out and just putting it into an envelope in my desk drawer.
And another question, and this one I'm not sure anyone can answer, but well, I mean, it seems to me that if they're going to start issuing a UBI, it's the sort of thing where they'd say, what's your income slash savings, whatever, without calculating the UBI? Because it just seems weirdly unfair to have someone hit a cutoff that makes them worse off than they were before because of the amount of money they have.
Yeah,
Like, oh,
right.
you can't get food stamps anymore because you're making too much money, but now I'm spending so much on food that I can't afford rent.
And from what I've seen, now I haven't seen all of it, so I can't answer for everything. But what I've seen leads me to believe that they don't care, that they don't mind leaving you worse off.
So
Um,
I know that things like this are usually state by state. And so I have to say, I think you're living in a really shitty state for getting state assistance.
well, you're not the
Because
only person who said that.
both Washington State and California have rarely done me wrong when it comes to a social safety net.
Yeah, you're not the only person to have said that as far as, living in a really horseshit state. And yeah, I kind of tend to agree. Um, the whole thing is, I'd have a hard time moving because number one, it costs to move. And then it also requires a whole heck of a lot going on to pull up those stakes and then reset those stakes in a new place. And then now with the coronavirus thing going on, I'm not going anywhere now.
Well, yeah.
Wait for a while before I would even consider it. But yeah, it's nothing I haven't thought of before. The one thing I really hate is being by my lonesome in a brand new place while trying to get set up with the whole safety net thing and everything else, and yeah, that whole thing. But who knows? Is a no go for you? Is a no go for me? You know how it's going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Bonnick's right. This is how the system keeps the poor poor. They like, and yeah, I know I'm talking about the nameless they and the nameless them and all that shit, but that they like keeping us poor, all the while complaining that we're draining their pockets for less than the basics as far as being helped out.
One thing that like I wasn't able to put it that way until recently, but the right wing, the conservatives, feel like they would much rather screw over people who genuinely need help than let someone who doesn't deserve, or they feel doesn't deserve it, get more than they deserve.
Bing, bing,
You
bing,
know?
bing, 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 bing. Yeah.
It's like, maybe you genuinely need something, but tough.
Yep.
Because if I give that to you, that person that I think is an idle scrounger who just sits on their butt all the time, if they get money too, that's not okay. And I want to stop them before I ever help you.
Yeah. It turns up in the alt-right playbook.
Yes.
Where their concept of who deserves what, and this whole thing, they deserve all of it because they are entitled, and you and I are not.
Well, it's not just that though. I mean, they actively want to screw over people that they actually do feel deserve something just to make other people not get it.
Okay, yeah, a collateral damage type deal. Yeah. And as I put it, and I do think that this works its way in. For example, with medical care, they would rather take medical care away from everyone else in the country in order that I don't get my genital surgery. That sort of thing. Yeah.
And as I understand it, under something like universal health care, that would even be covered as a necessity.
Oh, it's that. Oh, believe you me, it's a necessity. Yeah.
Well, yes, but I mean, they would consider it one.
Mm-hmm.
Like the system would consider it a necessity.
It better, yes. I mean, I cannot count how many.
I can see the right wing objecting about as hard as they possibly can to that, just
Of
because
course.
they have moral issues with it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. This is a thing I've said more than once. I'll say it again. Is it moral issues or is it fear? As I've said to Ken Ham, as I've said to his minions, are you afraid that you might find one of us attractive or you might be one of us? I'm wondering if it's fear.
I'm not even so sure about that. I think it's just they're like, oh, someone's different in a way that our book says they shouldn't be, and we're gonna totally lose our crap over it.
Well, their book is so full of it anyway, but tell them that.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I think a lot of it really genuinely is that they have a moral objection. I mean, it's kind of like, when people say, oh, yeah, that one dude that, like was, where am I going with this? Because my brain, I just
To
totally
Chicago.
lost.
You go to Chicago.
Yeah, but I lost my train of thought. It's like, oh yeah, whenever people are saying, oh yeah, the pastor who's freaking out the most about gay people is totally gay himself.
Of course.
And I'm like, statistically speaking, that can't be everybody. There have to be some people who genuinely are straight who are still objecting to gay folks. It's just there's no other possibility than that.
And
And I mean, I'm sure a lot of them are gay as a purple tomato, but at the same time,
I think
not
there are
all of
some of
them.
those.
It can't be all of them. And so like I think it's actually against our own self-interest to be dismissive of their hatred of queer people as oh, they're just afraid they're queer, or it's just trans panic, or any of that stuff. I think we actually have to take it on their terms to actually deal with them. Because goodness knows, if someone isn't taking me on my own terms, I get pretty pissy about it. If someone listens to what I say and then takes it and runs in a completely other direction and is completely immune to clarification, at that point, I'm dismissing anything they have to say. So, I mean, as much as galling as it may be, to think that they're genuinely homophobic or homo hatred or whatever you want to call it, I think that's not in our interest to do that.
And of course, the question comes up, what do we do? And I don't know. I don't know how to go about handling. I know it's not one size fits all. I know this. But even a limited number of options, I'm not exactly sure how to go about talking to these folks. I'm going to be the first one to admit that.
I'm not sure we can. I think we just have to push everything through despite them, and let them stew in their own juices over it. And maybe once they start realizing, oh my gosh, this isn't causing the harm we thought it would, they'll let it go. Because you know how whenever something gets normalized, they kind of have to accept it and move on to hating somebody else, where it's like, gosh,
Yeah.
came through. Now I guess we have to move on and find someone else to hate, someone else to persecute. I mean, if we shove the legislation through for this, that, or the other thing and let something get normalized, there's nothing they can do about it. Like
I
they'll
don't
just have to
know.
sue.
I mean, this is a really hard one for me to figure out, if you will, because, okay, say around 2013 or whenever that was, that it was inevitable that we were going to have marriage equality no matter what. This is when they turned to people like me and said, okay, well, you can't take a piss in peace. But there was still that residual hatred going on. Um,
Well, sure, but what can they do about it?
some of them would take up arms, literally, and, shoot us
Hmm.
up. Um, and this is how you know that the hate is still there. Um, so where the hell was I going with this? Yeah, how much does it take to turn it all back? Which is what they're trying to do at this point. And then,
Well, I mean, this is one of the reasons I like the idea of the United States kind of breaking up because we're a failed state. Is it'll get to a point like in California, you're not going to see as much gay hatred as you are in Alabama.
yeah, oh yeah, um,
And let's face it, I mean, if you wanted to get out of where you are and go to a more progressive place, do what Purple did. I mean, look at how people rallied around for Purple and donated all this money and shit to him to help him move. Do that.
well, I'm afraid to do stuff like that because that's counted as income in my case.
Yes, but you're moving to a place where it doesn't matter. I mean, if you get all of that stuff and get to move somewhere, and then you tell them, yeah, I got no money because I spent it all moving. Well, now it's not income anymore, is it?
Well, that's one way to look at it. Yeah, I don't know if the state would look at it that way or if I'm just being weird. We
You
know
know,
that. We know that I'm weird.
well,
Um,
that, and I mean, if it's all donations, do you really have to report it?
yeah, you do. At least around here you do.
Well, yes, around here. I
Well, B, I
mean,
know
By the
you're
way, in case I'm quiet, I'm watching Geostorm, so that's why I've been so
okay.
quiet.
okay.
Didn't want to transfer over the mic and get copyright issues.
And here I thought you were raptured. I don't know, man. Oh my, oh my.
But I'm just
What I
saying
really
that
wish I
you
could
do
do,
have options.
what I really wish I could do, and I suppose that some of it it involves work on my part, which I'm not doing enough. I know that. I know. It would be so great to actually be able to support myself on what I do and just go wherever I wanted to go, one of those deals. But we'll work on that. Yes, we will.
Well, I mean, that is definitely a thing I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Supporting myself through this.
Yeah, and it's got to feel good. I mean, to be able to, I know that you're not supporting every dollar and cent on page. I know that, but you're doing a pretty darn good job of it anyway. So it's got to feel good.
Yeah.
It's got to feel good.
It does. It really does. Although, I mean, there are times I'm a little worried sometimes just because I am relying on my viewers. And what if I manage to piss off the community in some unforgivable way?
Yes, yes. Well,
Which is entirely possible because there's a lot of people who are really, really pissed about how vehement I've been regarding this whole stupid election shit.
Yeah.
I've lost a lot of Facebook friends and a bunch of people have unsubscribed, but what can I do?
I know. Yeah,
I'm feeling pissed off and disenfranchised. So, I mean, but well, it's a thing, I guess. I mean, I don't feel like I have a choice to shut up.
I know.
So,
yes. And I talked to Logic about this sort of thing a while back, and I loved his answer. And I asked him, "Hey, do you consider what would happen if your fan base decided they didn't like you anymore, or YouTube shut you down?" And his answer was beautiful. He said, "I try not to think about it."
yeah, I don't let it cripple me, even though it worries me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess that's what you've got to do. And if there's anything that's difficult for me, it's that.
What, the not worrying about it?
Right. Yes. I could probably make a darn good living were I to be paid for worrying.
Well, I mean, the thing is, one thing I have noticed, and I don't know if a woman can do this, but a lot of guys get really popular by being complete assholes on YouTube. I mean, take a look
Yes.
at Atheism is Unstoppable.
Oh, God, yes. Or TJ Kirk. There's another one for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, being an asshole online can really get you somewhere, but it seems only acceptable for dudes.
Right. That is, yeah, I see that being the case. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I wonder why that is. Because men are naturally assholes anyway.
No,
That could have a part to play.
I think it's largely because people expect women to be
all sweet
innocent.
and demure. Yes.
Yes, innocent. It's like the whole snips and snails and puppy dog tails for guys, and sugar and spice and everything nice for women.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
They really know us very well.
I admit I've been getting snarkier on my videos a little bit lately, just a little bit. And I mean, it's working for me. I guess maybe it's easier to get away with it if you're a rather out lesbian, but still. I'm just saying. I mean, it's. I have considered trying to be more of a complete jackass on YouTube just to see what happens. But again, that's not a genie you can really put back in the bottle.
Right. Yeah.
So.
And I'm really pissed off about this whole thing that's going on in the side chat. Not this particular side chat, but you've noticed how they've removed the go-to channel option from
Hmm.
that's nabahada balkola garabadia tata poshnene.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never really needed that function,
I've
but
always I've always used it if I see somebody I don't know. I take a look at their channel and see what they're subscribed to or what they've published and that sort of, and get a little bit of a feel for what they're about. I know it's not
mm,
perfect, but if you see somebody who has a whole bunch of output that's skinhead, it's like, okay, I don't want to deal with this guy.
well, I
Right.
mean, I guess my question though is how much of that is because you like giving absolutely everybody a wrench?
Oh well, that too. Yeah.
Because I personally, my philosophy on wrenches is that if I can trust you to be the police on my channel, go for it. But if you're just someone that watches my videos, no, not so much. You know, because it's like I want people I can trust to have
Right.
those wrenches, and if someone's misbehaving, I want someone I trust to be able to put them in timeout or tell them to shut the fuck up. If everyone has a wrench, everyone has too much power, and they might as well be like, nobody has a wrench except me.
Yeah. Now I admit
So,
that I picked some of this up from Jeff because that was
mm,
the was what we did back in his incarnation of movie
Movie.
night, and there were also a couple of what's the word I'm looking for? News groups, things where you had the general availability of mod privileges. Um, but I don't know. Maybe at excuse me. Maybe at some point I'll have to clean house and start all over again with the Spanish. We'll see what happens. Hi, Brett. Yay!
I'm
So,
I'm talking on Twitter with that person who's doing that custom clothing thing for me, and so I had to, because that could be important in real time, you know.
Okay.
yeah.
Telling her, hey, here's something that we should probably avoid or should probably do. And if I get a message back, I just started cutting, that's gonna be a potential problem. So I had to deal with it in real time.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah. The only thing I'm having to deal with is my mom wants me to look up online grief counseling for her, and it's like, okay.
Okay
Mm.
then.
So, yay. She expects me to find something in an hour.
Yeah. Good luck.
Well, there's a lot of grief counseling going on online now.
And well,
Yeah.
okay. I have to wonder how. What's the word I'm looking for? Reputable, respectable, whatever. A lot of this
Yeah.
is, or is it Dr. Good filling holes that exist in the need for this, and they're offering their own snake oil.
Mm-hmm. Well, I told her she needs to call her insurance company, ask about them having online or face to video group or video grief counseling. I'm sure there's something these days right now because a lot of people are not able to go into doctor's offices in the current
Yeah,
Mm.
environment.
I'm one of them. Yeah, they're not letting any of us in. They're going to online medical visits,
Hmm.
and I can't even
Yeah,
get hold of anybody to make a freaking appointment to do that. God.
I haven't been like calling the doctor even though I've been feeling kind of sick for like
Hmm.
weeks now. Just because I don't even want to go into a hospital to get checked out. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
But like I've said a couple of times, it's in no way symptomatic of the plague,
Oh,
but
excuse
I've been feeling a kind of low grade unpleasant for quite some time.
Yeah, which is a little worrisome, but
Yeah,
yeah.
hi
I'm starting to
Hans.
wonder if maybe there's something in my apartment where it's like I have to like vacuum or something.
Maybe.
Maybe a little bit of that. Yeah.
I don't know, because I mean, I was walking not by taking steps, but by scraping my feet along the carpet, and I swear
Mm.
I felt like a cloud of something pop up. So,
Oh my word! What in the manner of the Peanuts character Pigpen?
I mean, kinda, but it was more like a geyser of dust, you know?
Yeah.
Like, have you ever taken a pillow that has been out for ages and you just go thwack and you see this, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
It
Hmm.
was kind of like that, and so I'm thinking I might need to be a little more diligent about cleaning.
You and I both, really. Oh my. Well, yeah. I thinking of starting stuff like that. I'm looking at the stuff around here and wondering if I need to do a major rearrangement.
Yeah.
But and then I'd end up cleaning along with that because I don't know the way the place is arranged. There's just not enough usable space, um, not enough space to work. So if I move things around, maybe I can gain a little bit more useful space. We'll have to see.
And I have a lot of cardboard boxes that need to go to recycling simply because I've had to order so much stuff without going out to get it. And now, and it doesn't help that Xander loves to explore them, and so they're
Yeah, it's
everywhere. And it doesn't matter if I pick them up and clean them up. He'll still dump them over. I should probably take out the knife and break them down so they're all flat.
okay. Yeah,
I don't know. Or I should just go to the fucking recycling bin. But the last couple of times I've tried to recycle stuff, the recycling bin's been full. So, I mean, what am I supposed to do?
yeah. Okay.
Ugh.
I don't know. Build a cat tower for Sander.
I've actually thought about it, but the problem is I would have nowhere to put it because if I did that, it would totally interfere with my VR stuff.
Uh huh.
So, I mean, what you gonna do? Although, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember what the company is now, but I saw a picture of some company that is redesigning all of their cardboard packaging so you can make a fort for your cat.
All
Like they've
right.
literally taken that initiative to do it, and I think it was inspired by people having to be in for the plague.
Okay then. But God, that sounds great. Make it interlocking and everything, and yeah, that'd be. And no, Dave, I don't have any spare fish tanks. It's well, I don't. This is the darn thing. I don't even know if I could bring any Piscine guests home with me at this point. You know,
I see.
Fish.
fishy.
Well, no, I got that, but I'm trying to figure out why that's a thing.
Well, I don't know. I mean, how easy is it to go to the
Oh,
pet
so
store
we're
and buy?
talking about your aquarium.
Yeah, Dave was
Okay.
said, have you considered getting rid of spare fish tanks? That's not a spare, man. I have to set that up, but
Well, it's just that I didn't have context, and so when you were saying Piscean guests, I'm like, is there someone who's a Pisces that hates Sagittarians or something like that? So, I mean, you understand my confusion now.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Dazed and confused. A little Led
The movie
Zeppelin there
was
for
only
you.
okay.
Hmm.
I don't know. I think the problem with Dazed and Confused is it was set in the 70s.
Okay, and then yeah, Han said something really interesting. Yes, the problem is then you hit a pillow for removing dust, and you discover that it was never a pillow.
Oh.
That one hasn't happened to me.
I tell ya, it doesn't happen here. Um, Sylvia is short-haired, but oh my word, when I had long-haired kitties, the cat fur would pile up behind the doors because we kept all the doors
Okay.
open. We didn't have to worry about any of that shit, and you had enough spare cat fur to build another cat behind
Okay,
the doors.
I have so much fur in my house that I have to sweep up the house every week because I have 3 fur babies, one of which is 85 pounds, and they're all black. So I have black fur balls everywhere.
No, wait a minute. Am I missing something, Harmonica Man? I'm reading who has the 10 millimeter.
What?
Well, Harmonica Man says, who has the 10 mm, by the way?
What? The 10 millimeter what?
Yeah, that's what I don't know. Well, I have considered a terrarium, Hans, but I would much rather have the aquarium. It's just a matter of having the time, money, and space all at once.
So, kind of a off-topic
Yes, dear.
change here, because I won't say I've had arguments or debates about this with people, but we've definitely disagreed civilly about how to pronounce that word that isn't coffee that Trump said. Because I've heard so many different versions of it, like,
Oh,
cafe,
that early
and all
one.
of that.
Yes.
And I actually found a clip of Trump saying it.
Oh my.
And he said it's kofefi.
What the hell is kofefi?
It's that word that appeared early in his
a tweet where he was trying to say he wanted coffee or something, but he misspelled it badly, and it was like kofefi, and kind of like when he said hamburgers or hamburgers or whatever.
Hamburger.
And I was like, I was always kofefe when I read it.
Same here.
Now I know how it's pronounced, but it came up recently where someone was talking about the thing, and I decided finally to look it up, and now I know how to pronounce it. So yeah.
Yay! This is an accomplishment.
I don't know. It's just something that came up in my head.
Yeah, because the aquarium is sort of moved back in the list of things to do. Other things have passed it. It's going to cost a couple of $100 to get that thing up and running. Yeah, we'll just work on that when we can. Because I'll get another cover, and I'll get another lighting system, because the stuff that I had previously just didn't work well at all. And this, that, the other.
Well,
I'm seeing a post on a website where there's this dad who, like, his son and his son's male friend are secretly dating. And he's like asking people advice. How do I tell them, like, I'm totally cool with it? And I'm like, I mean, on the one hand, like, yeah, you don't want to make assumptions and you don't want to just bring up a sensitive topic like that. But on the other hand, if you want your kid to know, dude, it's like totally cool if you're gay. Yeah, what do you do?
Yeah.
Maybe talk about a couple of the gay actors that are out there and how.
Sounds a little passive aggressive, but okay.
Well, I'm just thinking you bring up someone that is a gay actor and then say, I think it's cool that they're dating such and such because I have no problems with someone being gay.
I guess, but it's like it just seems so out of the blue and transparent.
Yes, it does.
I think he's looking for a more subtle, tactful, less on the nose way to say it. You know what I mean?
How about just subtly saying, "Hi, did you and what's his name go out on a date last night?"
Well,
it's great.
I imagine they're not going out on dates right now, but still, I mean, like, yeah, I guess. I suppose if it was me, I would eventually give up on trying to find a politic way to say it, a gentle way to say it, and just go like, "Hey, son, if you're a fag, it's totally cool." You know, like just
Well,
go full on obnoxious with it.
yeah,
But
it's kind of hard to be subtle and politic in a
no,
lot
it's
of
not.
ways when you're a parent.
Well,
Oh,
this is
well,
why, one of the reasons anyway, I am so happy I am not, never was, never will be a parent. Okay?
Well,
mm,
Tornado and I had this discussion, and I was just like, I don't care who you date, I don't care about their gender, as long as they make you happy.
There you go.
trying to
Hey,
remember
NANA, hi.
trying to remember exactly how Patton Oswalt put it in one of his routines, but he was talking about how, like, there's ways to say you're okay with the gay if you're even if you're super crude about it.
Hmm.
Whereas there are people who can be so polite but are clearly homophobic. Where you get that coffee house intellectual who's going, well, there are societal norms, and while some people are outliers, and this, that, and the other thing, where you get the redneck who's going, I don't care if you're pounding each other in the ass. It's totally cool. It's none of my fucking business if you're faggots. And it's like, well, I mean, that guy is kind of a dick,
Okay.
but at the same time, he's on my side.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right.
So
Well,
it's
I'm going to skedaddle out. I have got some
Oh,
searching. I have some searching to do for my mother. I'm supposed to call her back in like 45 minutes with
with
any
all the
sort of.
answers, right?
Yeah. Well, she's getting severely depressed, so she really needs some sort of counseling. So, and she
Xander,
asked
that
me
it
to
better
help,
not be you on the
so
counter.
I better go help, and we'll see what happens. So, I will see you all later. Hugs to
Well,
everybody.
yay, love you, dear, and be
Love you
good and
too.
stuff and
Oh
things and
yes. Oh, I'm so looking forward to having to be my mother's sole support. Oh, shoot me in the head now.
eek. Would that be like
Oh,
Soul Survivor? Um,
I don't know. She's gotten to the stage where she's accepting that her husband is dead. But she's also at the stage of wanting to just get rid uh, of everything in the house that reminds her of him. So it's not really accepting so much as
it's denial
shoving
in its
everything to
own
the side.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. She says every time she turns around, there's something to remind her, and she feels dead inside. And it's like, oh boy, definitely need to get her some counseling. So I'm gonna toddle off and take care of that. So everybody
Okay,
else have a good
honey.
day.
Yeah,
I
we
will
give it
be
a try.
around. Yes.
Have
Okay. Bye
fun.
bye, guys. Oh, loads. Take care.
Okay. Oh, Bushy boy, Bushy boy, Bushy boy.
I'm looking at something my dad sent me, and yeah, they're weird thoughts, but some of them are not that strange. In fact, one of them just outright contradicts itself, so it's kind of funny.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, like it kind of makes a point about why do we call it a W and it's clearly a double V? But then one of them says if you turn the word swims upside down, it still says swims, but the M is curved rather than spiky. So, it looks like a double U rather than a double V.
Okay,
Or the M
then.
is not spiky, the M is rounded, is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah.
Well, the way I hear it when it's spoken, etc., 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 is the W is use double. When you consider words like water or went, what are you hearing? You're hearing a U. And it turns out that I know the English teachers will tell me I'm full of it. But W is an unstressed U, just as Y is an unstressed I.
Yeah, this thing my dad sent me sounds like the kind of stuff I come up with. It's like things to think about. What if my dog only brings back the ball because he thinks I like throwing it? If poison is past its expiration date, is it more poisonous or is it no longer poisonous?
There.
Which word or which letter is silent in the word scent, the S or the C? Do twins ever realize that one of them is unplanned? Maybe oxygen is slowly killing you and it just takes 75 to 100 years to fully work.
Well,
Every time you clean something, you just make something else dirty.
yes.
Intentionally losing a game of rock, paper, scissors is just as hard as trying to win. That one's actually not true, because if you keep tying, just keep doing the same thing over and over, and eventually they'll figure it out.
Okay.
You know, 100 years ago, everyone owned a horse and only the rich had cars. Today, everyone has cars and only the rich own horses. Your future self is watching you right now through memories. I actually have one of those comic strips I made that's exactly talking about that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how many of these are going to appear in the comic strip.
Oh, none, because they're not my original things.
Oh,
actually.
okay.
The doctors that told Stephen Hawking he had 2 years to live in 1953 are probably dead. If you replace W with T in what, where, and when, you get the answer to each of them.
Okay, yes, yes.
What is that? Where is there? Yep. And when is then? Many animals probably need glasses, but nobody knows it.
Yeah, definite.
And if you rip a hole in a net, there are actually fewer holes in it than there were before.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my. Oh well, yeah. NANA. I love. There's even a song. Let's see. Let's forget about tomorrow. Let's forget about tomorrow. Let's forget about tomorrow, for tomorrow never comes. Yeah. How many people have done that one already?
It's kind of like the thing in Spaceballs where it's like, what are we looking at? We're looking at now, sir. What's happening now happened now. What happened to then? It was just that, that bit in space, but you've never seen Spaceballs.
No, I've seen Spaceballs. I'm just trying to think of where that occurred.
They're trying to figure out where Lone Star is, and so they get out the videotape of Spaceballs and start.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Took me a while. Yeah. Now, it's been a while since I've seen Spaceballs. I got to pull that one out. Watch that one. I like that film.
It's good. I like Mel Brooks. He actually talked about making a sequel to Spaceballs, but I'm thinking, number one, I mean, he hasn't done it yet. Number two, what is he, like 98 years old? And number three, we have a plague going on, so I suspect he'll never get to it.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. We have, okay, according to this little thing here, he's 93 years old.
Yeah.
Heading for 94 in June.
So, he's not exactly a spring chicken.
Holy shit, he was married to Anne Bancroft.
I would have thought he'd be married to Anne Savings and Lonecroft.
There you go.
Yeah. I just, I think of these things. Or do these things think of me?
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. Every time I think of something that is both silly and spooky, that haunted house theremin music plays in my head. And if it's not that, it's the theme to the X-Files, So,
Okay.
You've never seen The X-Files, have you?
No, I have not.
Oh, you are so uncultured.
One of the things I was thinking, and believe it or not, I actually was thinking about this. If I arranged the things here in this room and in the back room appropriately, I might be able to get a dedicated screen and actually be able to watch some of my motion pictures that are sitting on DVD gathering dust. And I was wondering, gee, how much would I want to do that to spend the money?
I mean, I actually lost a friend to this
Hey, yo,
opinion,
guys.
but I think that if you own a book or a movie or something that is put out in another format that makes your format, the format you already have, obsolete, I have no problem whatsoever with pirating it to be able to still watch it if you had to get rid of the device that on which you were watching it. Or if you bought a book and then you bought a Kindle, you shouldn't have to pay to get the book again.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
But I had someone who really objected to that, and we are no longer friends. His choice, not mine. So, yeah, and I considered him a pretty decent person. He wouldn't even discuss it. He just said, "Well, that's shitty of you," and quit. You know? I'm like, wow, okay,
Was
what a
he
brat.
was he even making his living that way?
I think he was trying to.
Okay, that might explain some of the vehement response.
But it wasn't even vehement. It was just, "Oh, well, screw you then. Bye." I mean, it wasn't even like he was screaming at me in text. He just went, "Wow, you're a shitty person." Gone.
Okay, then.
Yeah, it was kind of like when Matt Dillacunty decided that he was no longer my friend because I wouldn't vote for Biden. Like
Matt
just
Dillahunty? You mean one of the atheist guys?
yeah, the guy from the Atheist Experience, shaves himself bald, mustache, that guy.
Ah, him.
He decided, "Oh yeah, well, I'm not your friend anymore after multiple years because you're not voting for Biden and therefore Trump's going to win and I can't stand that kind of stupidity. Bye-bye."
That
I'm
sucks
like,
so hard.
"Wow, you're such an ass."
I mean, it's
So, I
not
mean,
okay. I mean, it may be glossing over it. It may not be glossing over it, but it's. I'm thinking it's not like you are a Trump supporter. It's just that you oppose Trump in different ways. You know?
well, it's not even that I care about Trump. That's the problem. That's the thing people don't even get because so
Yeah,
many people
yeah.
have given in to Trump fear, where they say it's the most important thing is to get rid of Trump. And I keep pointing out, well, the next president is going to be doing things, and I'd very much like them to be good things, But these people are like, I would vote for Hitler himself if it got rid of Trump, and I'm like, what
Oh
the
man,
fuck?
I've
Yeah, well, I mean,
seen.
no one's actually said that. That's my comparison, but that's my description of their behavior. And
Uh,
I'm like,
honey,
I care about the issues. I don't care about party unity. I don't care about the person. I care whether or not they're going to implement shit that'll make life better. And this is such an alien concept to them. And then they try their emotional manipulation with, well, you're responsible for Trump if you don't vote for Biden. And then I'll post a video of Biden acting all senile, and they're like, "Yeah, but Trump." I'm like, you would rather nominate and vote for, elect as president, someone who's both senile and a sex offender, and whose voting record clearly shows him to be as much of a conservative as any other Republican. And you want that guy instead of Trump, and that's it. And you will give no sympathy whatsoever to people who actually care about the goddamn issues. And it's just like, it's so frustrating to deal with these people. But
and here's the.
apparently, Matt Dillahunty is one of those people. So if you like Matt Dillahunty, there's something wrong with you.
There you go. And here's the thing. You say you have not seen it. You have not seen somebody say, "I will vote for Hitler in order to get Trump out of office." I have.
Oh.
And I kept my mouth shut because I didn't want the entire fucking internet to explode. But I saw somebody post that maybe a couple weeks ago. I
Well,
was
if
like,
someone
I
posts
really
that,
want to respond.
well, that's the thing, though, is in my never humble opinion, if someone says that the internet should explode, the problem is it may not explode in their direction. It may explode at you.
That's
But
the thing.
I'd still rather see it discussed how stupid it is
Yeah,
to
it's
say that.
absolutely stupid, absolutely. And it's, did you even know what you said? Jesus Christ.
Well, and then there's people who are saying that like not voting for Biden is basically like Germany right before Hitler was elected chancellor or whatever the fuck it was.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it is in its own way because the Germans of the time did elect the fascist state that it became.
And it's just so frustrating, like people's lack of vision, their inability to see past their own nose, to see the larger picture, to see what electing a president like Biden could do to future elections. They refuse to see it. They refuse to consider it because Trump derangement. I mean, Trump is the cudgel being used against
Yes,
anyone who
yes.
wants progressive values, progressive policies. Is, oh yeah, well, you just support Trump. Meh, 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 meh. And it's like, how do you deal with that? Besides basically deciding, well, fuck it, I'm going to lose a bunch of friends.
Maybe that's the only way it can be done. And the thing is, though, in my particular case, it eats at me because I want, and this is probably what's wrong with me. I want to help avoid the worst, but they want the worst so badly that they're going to have it no matter what any of us do. And unfortunately, it's going to be the worst for us, too.
Suck.
Well, I think what's really unfortunate is that they don't even see that it's the worst, and you can't tell them it's the worst because they'll just la 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 everything you say that isn't yes, I'll vote for Biden because Trump.
Reminds you of
And,
religion,
and don't
doesn't
tell
it?
me I'm exaggerating. Don't tell me I'm exaggerating because that happens all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of reminds you of religion, doesn't it? I mean,
It does,
yeah,
but it also doesn't because it doesn't really seem necessarily like they're sucking Biden's dick. It seems more like they're just like unsucking Trump's, if that makes sense.
sort of. Yeah.
Because I mean, if they were rabidly for somebody because of their policies, it'd be easier to deal with. But instead, it's all party unity, blue no matter who, anything but Trump, nah, 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 nah. And it's like there's no sense of, yeah, but what do we get out of the deal? That like there's the meme going around to someone like the one dude, we have to vote for Biden, and someone else says, make the case without mentioning Trump, and the guy just pauses and like can't do it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And I've had people tell me, like literally tell me I'm a traitor for expecting them to be able to do it.
It's kind of stupid, actually.
Well, and I mean, it feels the same way as people dealing with the virus. Is everyone is doing everything as wrong as they possibly can out of fear.
Yeah.
And it's just so deeply frustrating, and it also leads one to doubt oneself, where it's like, if you
Yes.
feel like you're the only intelligent person in the room, are you actually the intelligent person, or are you just Dunning-Krugering yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. And this, well, okay, here's the thing, though. I'm going to say, and it's going to sound Dunning-Krugering, but if you are actually asking yourself the question, am I the stupid one? You're not necessarily the stupid one.
True. I mean, an aspect of Dunning-Kruger is that you don't realize you're stupid.
Right.
Like you never, and you think you're smarter than you are because you don't question whether you're stupid. But I mean, even so, that doesn't mean I'm necessarily off base. But at the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
time,
yeah.
But I watch all these people doing things that are clearly going to make the virus worse, that are clearly going to make the country worse. And I'm like, I have to be smarter than those fuckers. I have to.
Yeah. Well, with those fuckers, a lot of it is they want what they want. Uh, damn the cost. Damn the. Yeah. Okay. Joe Asshole wants what he wants. Damn the cost to Diana Clarion, or to Kate Farr, or they're 4 years old. Extremely selfish. Yeah.
And here I am. I want what I want because I think it'll genuinely make people's lives better. There are things that I deeply, deeply care about that honestly will not affect me in the least, but it'll make life better for people who are totally not me. And if there was ever a sign of compassion, it's that.
Yes, absolutely.
Is shit about other people. Even sometimes despite yourself, even sometimes if it'll make your life worse, but you say, I will suffer that to make someone else's life better. That's compassion, if anything is.
Yep. Yeah, and they just don't want that. So, and we're outnumbered. Okay, that's the problem.
And it's the whole thing, let's make sure that no one gets what they don't deserve. And we're willing to make life worse for tons of people if someone else is like, if someone doesn't benefit accidentally.
And there you go. And then when the inevitable happens, and when by their actions these people themselves suffer, whose fault is it? Not theirs. Yeah, it's the it's the fault of the people they opposed. And it's okay. That's the way I would like just to go bye-bye.
And that's even what the Democrats are doing right now.
Yes,
this whole only Biden thing, blue no matter who thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because plenty of us are going to suffer for that.
No one will listen to reason. No one will listen to why they're wrong. No one will listen to anything but their own fear.
And I know,
like as much as I don't like Dune, fear is the mind killer.
Yes. Yeah, fear is a powerful motivator. Yes, it is.
It's like how everyone went out and hoarded everything in the supermarket.
Yes.
It's like, that was unnecessary, and it screwed over a whole bunch of people.
Yes.
I mean, I actually had to have friends who live in places that are less hoardy send me things like hand sanitizer because I can't get them here. And it's fun. I mean, and I'll give credit where credit's due. Purple is one of the ones who stood up for that. He sent me that huge box of stuff.
Well, he is such a big sweetie.
Granted, I had sent him $200 to help him move, but I think he would have sent me that stuff anyway.
Yes, he would have. And here's the thing. I want to go bappity on his head because I'm afraid that he's generous to a fault, that he's not eating as well as he should be for the help he gives others.
It's possible. Now that I think about it, I wonder if the low-grade icky I've been feeling has been malnutrition. No, I still have frozen vegetables. I still make the occasional stir fry. And you know what? You remember when they said a long time ago that ketchup is a vegetable?
It's Ron Reagan. Yes. Not Ron. It was
sauce. I have pasta sauce. There's vegetables in that shit. No, there's no way the nasty I've been feeling is malnutrition. Never mind. Forget I said it.
You know what, though? Thank you for reminding me. When I finish up the soup, I think I'm going to make spaghetti carbonara. Because I haven't made a carbonara. Are you familiar with carbonara?
No.
Not off the top of my head.
Oh, okay. You have spaghetti with a topping that consists of egg yolks Parmesan cheese. Um,
Well, that's a
it's
deal breaker.
it should be what is the fancy cured ham? You can use bacon just as easily, but
Okay.
not pancetta. That's what it's supposed to be, pancetta. Um, and that's over spaghetti and stuff. And um, I know it's got the Parmesan, but I like it. You know, what can I tell you? I like
It
a lot of
smells
weird
like
shit.
vomit. If the Parmesan smells like something that's gone seriously, seriously bad.
This is really amazing, though, the way your senses operate. Um, it's got to be all in one way or another linked to that whole super taster thing. But it's amazing how that works. You know, it's the sort of thing I'd like to sit down and study and learn about.
Well, I wish I could do that whole thing where I can make someone experience what I experience. Like I've mentioned it with music and movies and stuff, but I
Yeah,
think
they.
taste and smell too. I mean, I wonder what it would be like to taste Parmesan cheese and go, good. Because I cannot imagine it. It smells so bad. I mean, like literally get that shit away from me right now, or I will hurt you bad.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, that's. I guess I kind of feel the same way. My ex loved to drink buttermilk. I can't do it.
I could
Um,
not tell you what buttermilk tastes like. I
to
imagine, like, I picture something like eggnog.
Okay, you're close. Think eggnog, but sour. And when I say
Oh,
sour, I mean lemon sour. At least that's what I'm
like
tasting.
I can picture that in dairy. Doesn't something that's sour like that in dairy make it curdle?
Well, the buttermilk I've seen anyway is so close to curdling it might as well be curdled.
Well, but still, doesn't citrus make
Yes, it
milk?
does. Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, it coagulates the protein.
Ugh, it just ew. I mean, how do people eat that stuff? It's so grody.
Well, I can cook with it, but I can't drink it straight.
Well, that and all those weird stinky cheeses and stuff like that. I mean, you look at the cheese I like, and it's the really mild stuff, Swiss and Monterey Jack and all that.
Okay, no Limburger for you.
Oh, fuck no. So gross.
for
I mean,
the
so disgusting.
For those who don't know, I assume everybody knows, but some people may not. Limburger comes packed in shit. So that's what's going on there. Oh
Oh,
my
so
word.
gross. I mean, like, I wish that there was a way to make people experience what I experience. Like for people to know why vinegar is so disgusting. I mean, it
Okay
is.
then.
Vinegar is poison, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah, I believe you have called it the empathy helmet.
Yes, the device that I want is the empathy helmet.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
where it's like you don't necessarily hear thoughts, but you definitely feel feelings.
Uh-huh.
Like what if I could play for people the music that makes me go, get it away, ew, or the music that makes me go, this is the coolest thing ever. I mean, I wonder how much it would change people's perceptions of various songs, or be able to suggest music to me, because the sheer number of times I've said, okay, here's what I like, help me find more of it, and people just don't understand what I've said to them. And
Mm-hmm.
and part of it is that people love being technically correct without actually being correct. Where I'll say to them, okay, here are things I absolutely love. Draw a Venn diagram that finds that sweet spot that incorporates at least most of them. And people will go, here's something that has one of those six traits you mentioned, so it's perfect, right?
Yeah.
Or there'll be someone who goes, well, here's something that I think fits the word you used. And I'll say, that's not the way I meant that word. Here's the way I meant it. And they go, well, it's too late now. I've already got the definition I think you mean, and I will forever cling to it. And I'm just like,
Oh
I
God,
can't
that
do
sounds like Saitan Bruggencate, for Christ's sake.
Well, but the problem is it's also more rational people as well. And so, like, I've given up asking for advice on things like music and movies because there's maybe three people who understand me at all.
And I'm not one of them.
Uh, well, but I mean, I wonder, like, if I were to give you all of those criteria and say, find me something that matches at least 75% of this, maybe you could do it, even if it's not your thing.
Maybe I
I don't
could,
know.
yeah, maybe I could do it. It might take me longer than it would take some people.
And
I
it would
mean,
almost certainly require doing it in real time rather than in text.
yep. Yeah, because I remember the first time we went around with this stuff was in text. So I'm trying to remember if we were discussing it over Facebook or if we were discussing it over Twitter DM. I forget which. I think it was over Facebook, but oh
I
my,
don't know.
yeah, it was a
But
while back.
yeah, I mean, if I could just, because like I mentioned, I don't know if it was on the stream when you started it or before you started it, but I was mentioning how I'm in a Roxette group, and people's experience with the band is completely different from mine, like almost everyone else's, where it's like, someone is trying to make a compilation of like fan favorites, and it's almost entirely ballads to the point where someone had to say, okay, people are complaining, or like one person has complained, hello, that it's all ballads. And there's none of the more upbeat, fast-paced, energetic stuff. And so they said, okay, you are absolutely required to vote for more upbeat stuff to put on this thing. And I'm glad that they recognized that problem. But at the same time, it's like, even with it, because most people in the United States don't even know who the fuck Roxette is by name, although they can identify a lot of the songs. So even in an outlier where I'm a fan of something that's less well known, even within that subset, I'm on the outside again, and it is so frustrating.
Oh my word, yes, yes. Um,
Oh.
I used to feel a little bit of that back when I was a member of Mensa because you did get the sort of thing where you could be an outcast among outcasts. You know, the group existed because we were all outcasts and kind of banded together. But then there were some of us who were on the outside of even that, and yeah,
Yeah.
not fun at all. Um,
Yeah. And the same problem comes up on those websites like, I guess, Spotify and Pandora and stuff, where you tell it, here is a song I absolutely adore, find me more music like it. And I mean, I entered in the most action-packed, energetic Roxette song there was and got nothing but 80s ballads out of it, because apparently that is the perception of the band by the rest of the world. And like, Pandora does not examine the song you gave it, it just
oh,
examines band and the predominant genre that they play. And so giving it this loud, fast-paced song does nothing to get me more of the same. And I actually had a real-time chat with one of the people who heads the site, and they were boggled by my objections. They were boggled by my criticism.
wow.
Yeah.
So they
You know,
decided
I
that
think,
they
well,
did the everything is right and it can't be wrong now. Okay.
well, no, it wasn't that. It was just they were blown away by my criticism. They were like, "What? That's a thing?
Mm,
Really?" Like it wasn't so much they were telling me, "Well, fuck you, kid." It was more a matter of I had no idea.
okay,
You know,
okay.
and I mean, not that they changed it or anything,
Of
but
course not. Yeah. Hi,
well,
JC. How you doing?
one thing that's kind of neat, there are some websites out there that will produce AI generated music, and it sounds really good. One of them lets you take a MIDI file, and they will use that as an influence to create the track.
Ooh.
And so some of the stuff that's come out of the Roxette MIDIs I've uploaded have been pretty interesting, especially if I switch genre. like telling it, okay, take this rock and roll song and turn it into a movie soundtrack song that's more oriented towards fantasy than anything else, and you get some really interesting results.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's a really cool site. I love using it. It's not as good as Juke Deck was when it still existed, but still.
Sometimes I wish I still had a keyboard, but it's been a long time since I've done any composing of any sort.
I wish I had
Talking
an
about
Alexa.
that makes me wish I could, but oh well.
Well, did I ever play for you those songs where like I used to make the mod edit songs where they'd take like a sample track of of an instrument, and you had like 4 tracks and each track had to be the instrument itself. Like you couldn't say, okay, in this track play another instrument and then this instrument. It had to be just 4 instruments and that was it. And so everything I did was basically um, like a snare drum, a bass drum, like a melody instrument and a bass instrument, and that was it. I made a rock and roll song out of it that I thought was pretty decent given the limits of what I had used. But one of my YouTube subscribers, a student named Chris Joseph, took what I had made and did something a lot more technical with it, and it sounds amazing what he did to my song. So yeah.
Definite moo. My,
Oh, maybe I'll send you the MP3s if I can somehow.
Please do.
that would be
I want to
fun.
hear this.
I mean, they're not copyrighted. I could play them right here and right now, but I don't know how good it would sound.
I almost want to hear if he actually did a version of The Touch by Stan Bush.
No, I did not.
No, I meant
But-
him, the dude you were talking about.
Oh, probably not.
Damn.
I mean, he might be willing to, but probably not. But yeah, can you send files over Twitter?
I don't know. I suppose there's only one way to find out.
I'm sure there's lots of ways to find out. There's just only one good way.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. There is you, and it looks like you can send pictures, but not files.
Okay.
You're on Facebook, right?
Yes, I am.
I can send files that way.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm under my own name.
Yes. We are. Yes, we are Facebook friends. Of course we are.
Of course we are.
Okay, send message. Hey, did you know there's a send money option on Twitter or on Facebook?
I did not know this thing.
If you go to someone's like not their profile, search for people. And then you'll see a list of all the people who vaguely fit that description. If you click on the 3 dots next to it, there's send message and send money.
Huh.
Crazy pants. I had no idea.
Okay, what am I doing on the thing for to this? Okay, so
let's
there's
see.
that, and then wait a minute, which
Crap, it looks like you can't send sticker, GIF, money, game, picture. I'm gonna need your email address, I guess. Like
Oh.
PM me your email or something.
yeah, sure.
Unless you already have at some point, I'll look. But
Let me see. I'm not sure if I have or not. Let me get to my. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah,
well,
I
don't see it here
okay.
in my or at least not in my Facebook. Not in my Facebook PMs. I'll look on Twitter.
Okay, hang on here. Gonna log in. And we're gonna go to the messages over there, and then we're gonna go over here. Yay! And then we're gonna do type.
Wow, you sure have sent me a whole bunch of stuff. like on a message-wise, I mean.
Yeah.
Wow, that is all the way back to 2018 right there.
Yeah, isn't it amazing how yeah, I mean, it sounds like I'm saying years and years and years and years and years. No, but hey, we've known each other a couple of years.
Just a few. Actually, I suppose
Okay.
it'd be easier to just type that in. No, that's in no way easier. Never mind.
Check your DM. You have it.
Okay. Mm, they're not exactly labeled, the MP3s, but you'll very quickly tell which one is my version and which one's the updated version.
Ah,
Could you send it to me too? I want to see that.
Well,
My-
you're gonna have to hold on. Let me send it to her first, and then
Diana, you can send it to me through Discord, right?
if I can remember how.
You know that little plus sign there? You can send files with it. It on your Discord to the left of the chat box.
okay.
Wait a minute. What is this?
So that's
Oh my!
no. What the hell?
Here's a dear friend asking for a friend request on Facebook. Yes, my dear friend Kelvin Smith in Benin, Nigeria.
Oh gosh, is he a prince?
Wait, really?
No.
Oh, I guess they are labeled. One of them does have my name on it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's like, hello, I want to be your friend because I heard that you are inherited of a Nigerian prince.
I'll tell you
And
what
just-
what I haven't received in a while are friend requests from colonels on up in the armed forces.
So okay, I sent the files. What I was going for, and it'll probably come through, is sort of like an 80s power ballad kind of thing. The song is just called SPL, which I'm almost embarrassed to say stood for Sunset Porsche Love.
Okay.
So yeah, that's well, you've got the files now.
It'll be a while before I can get to them because oh wait a minute, I could fire up the other machine because that's where the mailer is. But yeah, we'll deal with it as we deal with it.
Oh, well, wow, that's the first time that's happened. I wanted to entice a cat with these, and Xander usually
There.
comes running when he hears the package, and he didn't.
Oh my.
And I waved the little kitty treats at him, and he's still not coming over. I am shocked by this.
Oh my. And yeah, now that you mentioned that, that is one thing that did not draw Sylvia, excuse me, over. I actually bought a bag of Fritos the last time I was at the Squall Mart, and the sound of the bag did not attract her.
Huh. Oh, that bag of gummy bears that Purple sent me,
Uh-huh.
the cats came running if I shook that bag because it sounded so much like the kitty treat bag. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Xander's like, "You're not fooling me again, bitch." So, or alternately, maybe he got one of those clue things and here he is. "Hey, buddy boy, here, yo, buddy boy, here's your treat. Here's your treat. Eat it. Eat it. All right, I'll put it there and you can eat it if you choose." And he chooses.
Yum yum
Oh,
yum yum
and
yum 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 yum.
You little idiot, you dropped it. Now it's on the ground or it's all dirty. Silly cat. I'm not sure which one of these two cats is more at fault for them not getting along. Because Xander does try to tackle Columbia a lot. But at the same time, she tends to growl whenever he's near, no matter what. But I'm not sure how much of that has to do with the fact that he kept trying to tackle her. But of course, when I first brought him home, she wanted, like, seriously to murder him.
Uh-huh.
So, like, even when he was in the kitty tent and she couldn't get at him, she wanted his blood so bad. And I'm like, I don't know if she'll ever warm up to him. I remember when I was in high school and we had Kitty and Rover, and they hated each other. And that was largely Rover's fault because every time Kitty would be like on the couch or something, he would like sneak over and then thwack, thwack, thwack at her tail. And yeah, it was on.
Okay.
So, well, that I think that they are both at fault here.
In the meantime,
And then
in
there's the
Space
little
Engineers,
one.
I'm setting up a
We
solar
don't
array.
need to hear about space engineers. I mean, sorry to shut you down, man, but we really don't need to hear about it.
And then there's a kiddiness over there who is. It's amazing the way Sylvia works. She'll get up on the bed, and she has to be on the thickest part of whatever's on the bed. So, okay, I've got 2 blankets. I've got 2 comforters on the bed, and let's say as it is now, it's folded back such that part of it is 4 layers, while part of it is 2 layers. Now she's on the part that has 4 layers. So if I want to get into the bed and pull the covers over me, of course that's not going to happen. Now the thing is, were I to have a sweater on that 4 layered arrangement, such that part of it was 4 layers and part of it was 5, she would have to be on the 5 layers. Always the greatest number of layers. What is it with you?
That is strange.
Yeah, it always has to be the greatest number.
Well, I mean, for a very long time, and it changed for a while before I got Xander, Columbia would only lie next to me in bed, never on top of me. But if I was anywhere other than bed, she was totally cool with it.
Okay. Yeah, well,
And I don't know why.
this one does not lie on top of me. Never has. Sometimes she'll get under the blankets with me. Other times she will not. The ambient temperature does play a part. The lower the ambient temperature, the greater the probability she'll be under the blankets with me. And then, of course, she somehow has this whole telepathic thing going and clairvoyance, such that if I put something on the bed and I intend to come back to it, maybe not right now, maybe in 20 minutes or so, she knows this and will get on whatever it is I want. Yeah, I just put down on the bed. Right? Right, you? She's ignoring me. There. Oh, you heard that, right? She's like, where?
It was very faint, but yes, it was definitely there.
Oh, little one. I don't know. She's such a good kitty. She is such the good kitty.
Yeah,
Such a good kitty.
I think that Columbia is finally starting to forgive me for bringing Xander into the home because she's getting affectionate again. She's willing to be petted again.
Yay! 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 Anyway, God, I'm weird. You knew that already.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if weird and strange are reasonable distinctions from each other, but there's times where I think, yeah, they kind of are. Like one of them is probably more socially acceptable, maybe even kitschy and cute. I don't know. But yeah.
And then there's the one I usually am. Yeah.
Well,
Oh, boy, moi. Oh, gee. We've actually got 15 here. That's great, guys. Thank you. Thank you for coming by. Really, God, this is warms the cockles of my heart, you know? I have to figure out what a cockle is.
it's a seashell in it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Yes.
I mean, there's actually a song. I don't know if it's Irish or British called "Cockles and Mussels," and it's one of those depressing songs where it's about some chick who sells cockles and mussels, and she like dies at the end of the song.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Sort of
it's like
Wagnerian in its own way. Yeah, yeah. Well,
but like it
thank you,
just starts.
B.
Yeah,
Thank
okay, I
you.
guess it must be Irish because it goes. Actually, the song is called Molly Malone, but it's basically in Dublin's fair city where the girls are so pretty. Excuse me. Wow, I first set my eyes on sweet Molly Malone as she wheeled her wheelbarrow through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. She was a fishmonger, and sure was 'twas no wonder, for so were her father and mother before, and they wheeled their wheelbarrows through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. But then it gets down to she died of a fever, and sure no one could save her, and that was the end of sweet Molly Malone. Now her ghost wheels her barrow through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. It's like twisted as fuck, but so many Irish songs are. So many Irish songs end either with a death or someone in jail.
Yes, yes.
Like, I don't know if you're familiar with the song Black Velvet Band, but it's basically about a guy who thinks he's going to have a date, but it turns out that the woman is a thief and frames him for picking someone's pocket,
I think you have
basically,
mentioned it at me.
and he ends up getting sent to Van Diemen's Land, which, as I understand it, is like probably Australia or something. It's definitely an island prison.
Okay, then.
So he goes to a land down under?
Sure.
No.
But yeah, yeah, she takes a gold watch from someone else's pocket and places it into the guy's hand, and yeah. It's actually one of my favorite songs, just musically speaking, though.
Okay,
Every
then.
time I would go to the pub, I would ask the band to play it.
Man, there are some absolutely wonderful British and Irish songs, ballads, etc., etc. I dearly love, um, and they have American counterparts, but the original stuff is so much better. Um,
Mm.
like St. James's Hospital is a fun one.
I
Um,
don't know that one.
let's see. So being at St. James's Hospital, and there was a young man who was dying, and he was lamenting the fact that he was dying. And one of the lines was, "I might have got oh, if she had just told me before she disordered me, I might have got pills and salts of white mercury." In other words, the guy was dying of syphilis.
Mm.
That in the U.S. became the Streets of Laredo.
Oh, I know
Uh,
that song.
yeah, and a whole bunch of them like this. It was Ben Luxem and Bill Crowfoot. Bill is dead now, unfortunately. Ben is an operatic bass. Bill was a banjo person. And God, they had some really great stuff. And unfortunately, half that pair is gone now. But
Well, go on.
I think that's kind of where I fell off the edge.
Well, sometimes I wonder if my love of Irish drinking songs comes from my parents, my hippie parents playing so much folk music when I was a kid. I don't like folk music very much, but I think that Irish drinking songs is a reasonable compromise. But are you familiar with the song MTA by the Kingston Trio? I'm going to take it
I
that
guess you
yes.
have your answer. Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that song.
For those who don't know, it's about a guy named Charlie who gets on the subway, and while he's on it, they raise the fare, and now he
Yes.
can't get off the subway.
Yes, yes. Oh my
And so he will
word.
ride forever neath the streets of Boston. He's the man who
Never
never returned.
returned.
And one of those, like, I think it was James Joyce, wrote a really fucked up book about it. And it's like this weird surrealistic, like has almost nothing to do with the song book. I don't know. It's just, oh no, wait. No, that's not what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of a different song that James Joyce wrote the novel about. It's about the guy who everyone thought was dead, but it turns out that he was like just drunk or something.
I've known
The hell
people
is
to
that
do
song
that.
called? Oh fuck! What is the name of that song? Hold on, James Joyce.
Yes, harmonica.
Where is it? Finnegan's Wake. That's it. Finnegan's Wake. Yeah, Finnegan's Wake. I don't even know how you could write a fucked up book like that. The way he did out of this song, like, because the song is hilariously funny, and yet, yeah.
I have not managed to get through Finnegan's Wake. Oh my God. You almost have to read it and listen to what you're reading in order to make sense of it. Especially the Irish washerwoman. Oh God.
Oh yeah, I know that song. What's it called? There's a song about this woman who has a baby, and she stabs the baby in the head, so they execute her.
All right, that's a great song.
Just one
Love it.
seriously fucked up song. But Finnegan's Wake. I'll just read two of the verses, though. It's like, one morning Tim was rather full. His head felt heavy, which made him shake. He fell from the ladder and broke his skull, and they carried him home, his corpse to wake. They rolled him up in a nice clean sheet and laid him out upon the bed with a gallon of whiskey at his feet and a barrel of porter at his head. But at the end, it's like, then Mickey Maloney raised his head when a bucket of whiskey flew at him. It missed, and falling on the bed, the liquor scattered over Tim. Tim revives, see how he rises. Timothy, rising from the bed, said, roll your whiskey around like blazes. Thundering Jesus, do you think I'm dead? I mean, that's like the whole point of the song is he's totally not dead. Everyone thinks he is, and then whiskey wakes him up.
Beautiful. I have several uncles who might have fit that description.
There's another song called The Widow and the Devil, where it's basically the devil makes a bargain with this woman that he can essentially satisfy her sexually because no man ever has. And the devil has sex with her 99 times, and none of them gets her off. And then he like runs away back to hell. And she's like, wow, if you could have gone one more time, just one more time to hit 100, you could have had me to hell with you.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's fucked
What
up.
the fuck?
Well, I mean, that's
well,
what
that's kind of the point.
I'm trying to remember if the song I'm thinking of is by. Yes, it is by Cordelia's dad. Is the baby song that I'm talking about? If I can just get the lyrics up, would be nice.
People make some really fucked up music.
Yes.
Well, not just music. I mean, look at like Grimm's fairy tales and Hans Christian Andersen. Some of that stuff is screwed up. Like how the Little Mermaid, every step she took felt like she was walking on nails and glass. You know,
Well,
and
I'm sorry,
half
what?
half the kids in those books die horrible, horrible, horrible deaths.
well, Grimm's fairy tales are very aptly named.
Yeah.
Wow. Let me think now. And then we have Sleeping Beauty is about necrophilia. Let's see now. What else do
Come
we
again?
have? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, some of those songs are just so fucked up.
Disney, why did you not tell me about this, Disney?
Well,
I feel I was denied critical, need to know information.
Damn it. I cannot find the lyrics for this song, and I know I can't sing them for you, so. Damn it.
Dobrojnie.
They're simple. This song has been removed for violating YouTube's terms of service. Those are the lyrics.
No, they're not. But yeah, I mean, there's just some screwed up stuff out there. Like you look at today's PC culture, and
I'd rather not, but
no, okay. As much as I don't like country music, there was a song by the Dixie Chicks that was covered by a punk band, and they did a great job with it. But it's called "Goodbye Earl," and the basic idea of the song is that there's these two friends, Marianne and Wanda. And when they graduate from high school, I want to say it's Marianne is the one. Yeah, Marianne is the one who moves away and starts basically seeking her fortune in the big city. Where Wanda stays in this tiny ass redneck town, gets married to a guy named Earl who beats her constantly, right? And so Marianne flies in from Atlanta and they plot to kill Earl. And so they poison him and like bury him out in the wilderness somewhere. And the police come by and go, "Have you seen Earl?" They go, "No." And they're like, "Okay, thanks." And no one misses him. Like nobody cares that Earl's dead.
WT fuck?
It's a great song, actually. I mean, like the first time I played it for my dad, who was like Captain Rabbit and Screaming Liberal, he started getting all offended because of the spousal abuse. But then when they get to the end of it, he was like, oh, I see. You know, and then he's offended because he doesn't like murder. But still, it's like, yeah, all right, this song is a little more feminist than I thought it was going to be.
okay then.
Yeah, it's like one of the verses. Well, it wasn't 2 weeks after she got married that Wanda started getting abused. She put on dark glasses or long sleeve blouses or makeup to cover a bruise. Well, she finally got the nerve to file for divorce, and she let the law take it from there. But Earl walked right through that restraining order and put her in intensive care. And then right away, Marianne flew in from Atlanta on a red-eye midnight flight. She held Wanda's hand, and they worked out a plan, and it didn't take them long to decide that Earl had to die.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and so it's like
WT
the cops came in to bring Earl in. They searched the house high and low. Then they tipped their hats and said, "Thank you, ladies. If you hear from him, let us know." Well, the weeks went by, and spring turned to summer, and summer faded into fall. And it turns out he was a missing person that nobody missed at all. So the girls bought some land and a roadside stand out on Highway 109. They sell Tennessee ham and strawberry jam, and they don't lose any sleep at night because Earl had to die. It's
Beautiful.
a great song, actually. I love it.
That's fucked up.
Well, it's not really, though. I mean, a dude's beating his wife, so she and her best friend kill him for it. I
There you
mean, how bad
go,
is that
yeah.
really?
Now, what we are going to do is.
That kind of reminds me of a fan fiction that I remember seeing, although I won't go into detail because the details, well, let's just say if I were to spout them out on YouTube, I find myself booted off the service faster than you could say looks like Team Rocket's blasting off again.
Moo.
Okay, tell us.
Yes. I thought it. You said it.
Yeah, well, you know me. I barely have a filter.
Now, this It's a coffee cup. There is something wrong with this coffee cup. The thing
Is it
that is
something
wrong
we
about
can't
this
yet
cup.
see?
Say again?
Is it something we can't yet see?
Right, because, yeah, the wrong thing about this coffee cup is that there is no coffee in it. We are going to do something about that, but I can still hear you. Oh, God.
I have not yet
Yes.
had my daily dose of caffeine yet, and
Oh,
maybe
no.
I should, maybe I shouldn't, I don't know. What I do know is that that bowl of Golden Grams I had right before the show is no longer with me in terms of not feeling hungry. It's still negotiating my digestive system, just so you know. It didn't come out while we were on the show, but
Okay.
even so, what I'm saying is I'm hungry in the most long-winded way possible.
Okay, you're getting good at it. Yep, there you are. That's a good thing.
So your bowl of Golden Grams is now pining for the fjords.
No, it's not.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I have to check this. No, yeah. It definitely needs a few of those standing waves. Yes.
I have wondered if maybe Red Bull is the wrong caffeine delivery system, if I should switch back to coffee.
Now, I'm trying to remember, and my memory is so shitty. Do I remember you saying that you found coffee to be extremely bitter, or...
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have to cut coffee with a fair amount of cream and sugar before it's palatable.
Oh, okay. But as long as you do that, it does...
Ravenous, so I will catch you later.
Yeah, and I'm
let's
heading
let
off
you
too,
get some
so-
foods. And...
Bye, Diana.
And when you get a chance, let me know what you think of that music.
Oh, absolutely! Yay! That's There we go.
Please
Okay,
send me an
yeah.
MP3 over Discord. Would you please,
Or you
Diana?
can let me know now, I guess, and then I can go get food. Play
Well,
the one that has my name on it first.
Okay, to get to the music, I'll have to go to my mailer, which is not on this particular version of the operating system.
You can't just download the MP3s and play them?
Wait, where did you send them to
Your
my
email.
mailing address? Okay,
Yeah,
what I
your
can
email.
do, well, give me half a minute here. Okay, I'll go to Dotster.
You can't just download directly out of the email?
I have to be able to get to the email first.
Oh.
Yeah, this particular part of the 3 operating systems I have does not have the mailer hooked up to it.
Oh, wait a minute. So you're not even getting email off the web now?
No,
You're using a program.
Oh, right. I'm using Evolution.
Use Gmail, for crying out loud. Why do you complicate everything?
Cause Evolution's so much easier than everything else.
No,
Give
but
me
I mean, seriously, it's like you seem to want to do everything in the most difficult way possible.
Okay, there's that, and there's... That should get me in. Yep, sure did. Come on, you. Now, we're going to go to Monange. Yay. And we are going to do the standard email. Yay. And we're going to do that. Loading mail. And okay, wait a minute now. Where are you? SP. Oh, there you are. Okay. You said that there's no copyright problems with these?
They're 100% my own composition, so yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Wait, did you start the stream back up?
Well, yeah. Call it that. Yes.
No. Are we live?
Yes, we are.
Why?
Because we never really dropped. Or
As
wait a
near as
minute.
I can tell,
Are we
This-
dead again?
as near as I can tell, I didn't think the stream was ever not dead.
Are we here? Question mark.
Should say right on the
Okay, I got an answer to the question. And it's still on this page. It's not saying end stream. It looks like we're still live, kids.
Oh, I guess we are. Okay, I mean, I thought we were about to end
Fight
the
the big
stream.
one?
I thought we were about to end the stream because I was going to go get food, and so was Tornado or
Oh,
whatever.
okay. No, we can do that. Yeah, we can bring the stream to an end. I
Yeah.
thought we were
And
about to, and then I thought that you had said no, don't yet. Okay, so yeah, let's
I
let
mean,
Kate.
I honestly thought that we were offline while we were discussing
Okay.
seeing the music. I honestly thought that.
We can still play the music, right?
I mean, yeah, but I just thought we were. Oh, never mind.
Okay, no, kids, I'll tell you what. Yeah, let's let everybody get some food and the other things they've got to do. Let me say, I want to thank everybody who's here. Oh, wait a minute. Robert says we want to hear the music too.
Guess we gotta let them hear it.
Oh, my.
Alright.
Well, okay, we'll do it that way. Let's see what we can do here. Here's this, and then, okay, wait a minute. Open link in new tab. What? Are you hearing this?
Yes.
Yeah. Is this your version?
Now it's gotten a lot quieter.
This is actually quite nice.
I can imagine flying along.
It's a little repetitive. But yeah,
I don't mind it.
Oh my, the infamous fade to silence. God, that is definite moo. Definitely moo. This is
Now let's
the
hear the other version.
yeah.
This
Check
is-
out Chris's version.
Yeah, this is the one we just played is the version that you did, right?
Yes,
Yes,
and,
and then-
that's what he based his version on, but his version's a little different.
Okay, and here it comes.
Whoa!
Wow.
Okay, it's really, really quiet right now. It's barely audible. Okay, now it's too audible.
Impressive.
How's this?
There we go. Stop adjusting it.
All right.
If the last one was spaceship, this is definitely spaceship.
I still picture car. Okay, tell me if you can see this, because this is the kind of thing I was picturing. Well, okay,
All you need is a constant flux capacitor.
Oh,
but yeah, that right there is the sort of thing I was picturing for the song.
okay then. Oh
You know,
my, oh my.
sort of
Okay
like-
then.
Like
That looks like a
sunset
DeLorean.
and a sports car and 80s style. That's sort of what I was going for with the song. But yeah, so that's what I did, and then how he modified it. It was very. I realized what I composed wasn't bad. I was just limited by the tools.
Yes. Not bad at all, really. Yay.
Yeah. Anyway, I really am hungry, so I'll catch
Yeah,
you
let's
later.
let you get some food.
That picture looked like a DeLorean.
Well, it's vaguely based on one. Anyway, later.
Later.
Take care, hon.
Okay, see ya. And
Okay,
this
you
is
be
it.
good.
Well, first you want to do the outro?
Well, okay, I'll say, want to thank everybody who's here. I want to thank everybody who is not here. I do this for you guys, and I love doing it. I really do, and I know it sounds all cheesy, but it's the real thing. And never thought that I'd have a little, what do you want to call it, an audience or a following or whatever like this, and kind of makes a girl feel good, really does. So to cap that off, I'll basically say then, see, there we are. Thanks a lot, troops. See you on the other side.
Stay safe and stay home.